first time we are seeing across Africa, Asia, Latin America, millions and millions of people who have never had the resources before to travel. They are finally getting to the point where basic things like housing, education, healthcare, food, nutrition are things that are being taken care of. And so they're now able to say, all right, what are the incremental things that we want to add? And I think those things will be powerfully positive for many years to come. Risk-taking hasn't changed, but I think what has changed is the speed at which risky decisions have to be made. You can't spend a year or two or three debating individual decisions that have to be made, but instead have to often move much quicker. And the boundaries of those decisions are less clear. Technology is changing so quickly and is relevant to so many different aspects of our business. Until very, very recently, once a guest came into our hotel, the only technology that was really important was the television or entertainment system in the room, and then how they use their own technology to communicate with others outside the hotel. Well, increasingly, it is how do we use that technology to communicate with our guests when they're in the hotel? How do we use the technology to service them, whether it's ordering room service, whether it is special pillows for their beds, whether it is getting something delivered to them by the pool, whether it's reaching out and marketing to them, maybe whether it's resolving their complaints before they've left the hotel. And all of those things, I think, create a need for technology, which is much more significant than what we've had in the past. How do we make sure that we're offering an experience that leaves a memory, and that probably leaves a memory because it's turning people on while they're there? The development of interest in design and food and beverage both are signs of an increasingly sophisticated consumer. And I don't think those ever turn around. It's important, I think, when we talk about sophistication and interest in design and food and beverage, to recognize that we're not necessarily only talking about luxury. We're talking about folks who are interested in a deeper experience, who probably have more experience and therefore have more activity in their judgment about things. We can no longer run this company, at least, with Americans spread around the world responsible for running parts of our business in different parts of the world. We need to have senior, broad-gauged talent who are locally expert so that they understand what the product looks like, what the services look like in a given market or given part of the world, consistent obviously with a global perception of the brand, but not the same as the way that brand is delivered or depicted in other parts of the world. Running hotels in 80 different countries, opening, we think over the next few years we'll open 6 hotels a week, something like that. So a hotel virtually every single day. We can't make decisions in that way anymore. Today, we say we want to have the broad executives dispersed around the world, able to make a decision in China with Chinese expertise to resolve the dispute between the operator and the developer, to understand the positioning of the brand, to understand what the restaurants need to look like, to make all of those decisions that need to get done. So we need many more broad-gauged executives than has ever been the case before. And that takes some years to build, but we're making great progress with it. Because we're not selling a product, we're selling a service fundamentally. We can't get to our customer except through our people. And so in every market around the world, we've got to make sure we've got people who not only have the expertise and talent to deliver the service, but who have the personalities and who have the desire every day to come in and provide that service with a smile and a deft touch. We've got today 350,000 people or so wearing our name badge every day. They are 99% local. Obviously, in our individual hotels around the world, the teams are overwhelmingly local. And it gives us the ability over time to grow talent from entry-level jobs in hotels, hopefully to a point where they become senior executives of the company and able to step into any job across the company, including mine. The attributes of the strongest partnerships are ones where we are both mindful that each needs to be successful financially, but we are also both mindful that they're long-term relationships. And so there may be times when either one of us would say, I understand that I could push you harder for X or Y today, but if I do, I may compromise the strength that we're going to have 2 or 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years from now. And so stand back and say, let's just keep working together and make sure we move. We have a very frothy competitive landscape in the hotel business. Now, to be fair, we always had. I remember back when I started in this business, which was in the mid-90s, before the first tech bubble burst in 2000, 2001. And we talked about the number of new brands that were created then. There were more new brands created in the late 90s than had ever been the case in the hotel industry before. Again, it is an industry which attracts innovators because we all love hotels. Increasingly, we're seeing folks say, okay, do I need a hotel? I maybe have a sense of adventure in my travel. So can I get out and be in the Amazon, as an example? Can I experience a place separate and apart from a hotel? Can I stay in somebody's apartment? Can I rent a house? All of those sorts of things. And I think that competition makes us all stronger. It does one really powerfully positive thing for us, and that is it pulls more people into travel. So we are certain that many of the newest competitors in our space, broadly defined, are bringing people into travel who've never traveled before. Some maybe because they can't afford it or haven't been able to afford it. Some maybe because it just hasn't piqued their imagination somehow. That will expand the pie for all of us, if you will. I think also it will influence the way we go about offering our services. So I think in many instances already, when you come and stay at one of our hotels, we may offer you a very different way of experiencing the local environment than would have been the case 5 years ago.